everyone, to the first edition of the Vibrational Empowerment Hour. I am Jade Lyons. I'm here with Ty Hudnall and lovely Miss Molly Shuvani. And we're going to talk about music, vibration, empowerment, and most of all, finding out what empowers you. So, Molly, would you care to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you and what empowers you.
I would love to. Thank
Awesome.
you. My name is Molly Shuvani. I'm a local singer-songwriter. That question just feels like such a loaded question, honestly, because the more I think about it, the more layers it has. Because the first thing that comes to my mind is like, oh, I feel empowered when I play music and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And then when I really think about it, I'm like, wait a second. I feel empowered because I went through a series of events that scared the living shit out of me and made me feel this big and came out on the other side of it. And I'm like, okay, like, we still got it. And so I just feel like it's almost like this equal and opposite. It's married to the concept of humility so much that like deepens the whole concept of empowerment too. I had a moment to think about this. So
Awesome.
that's what I came up with.
Yeah, no, that's definitely such a true statement. It's like you rarely think about that journey when you're in that moment, you know, but it's like there is this whole series of events that leads to this moment right now, and I can just thinking back to like my first days in Sedona and meeting you and, you know, and our collaborations throughout the time I've been here in Sedona, and it's just like, and everything led to like this moment right here, energetically, you know, and just allowing that surrender of the energy and the flow, and just allowing the trust to trust that these moments are coming, and they're here in a way have already manifested themselves, and now we're just here acting out that in this reality.
Absolutely, and that way it's so much like a story. Like, I feel like it's funny because we're in Sedona, obviously, and it's one of those very spiritual, very high vibe, super healing places, and spirituality is so upfront, so it kind of has this cause for it to be looked at from so many different perspectives, and I feel like there's this stigma and misidentification of the ego, where we're all like, you know, ego and story and all of that stuff, but it really, we love the story, like, in a certain way, like, just like you said, it's like looking at all of the events that led up to this moment and all of the things that made us exactly what we are now. It's like this epic saga of humanity.
More space for you to receive.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, a story itself, when we tell a story, we're not receiving. But when we share a story, we're sharing the experience with each other. So music is like that. You don't tell the story of music. You share it. And it can only be shared, and that's why when a singer like Molly has such feeling, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel what she's sharing. And musicians know that naturally. I think that's a part of spirituality that the non-musicians don't get. And you hit it on the nail on the head with the humility, because wow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Man, well, you just blew my mind about, I love that. This guy knows, both of these guys know so much about sound, and I love, like, again, like, all of these things being married, like, humility and empowerment, and spirituality and science, like, and resonance and vibrations, and what that is, and what that means, like, the applicable, you know, like, how we use that.
Tell them what we talked about before,
Okay, well.
before we on camera.
Well, we're going to play some music for you in a little while, and so we were rehearsing just for a moment, and one of the songs that I wrote, and I was just reflecting that a lot of the music I write is a little creepy, it's a little somber, and it's very minor, and Ty just goes, well, minor's the receptivity of it all. It's deeper, it's the back of the consciousness, right?
It's the back of your chakra system.
Back of the chakra system. I was
Yeah.
like, oh dang, that's super, and it just felt like super resonant, like how the major, like, super poppy stuff, it's right up front, and it's, what did you say?
Yeah, major is we're doing shit's happening, dun da da. Minor's all mellow in the back, and
We're
it's like,
feeling shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ty's good for at least one drop the mic moment a day. So
Wow, you filled your quota. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm on a roll today.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Excellent.
On that, do you want to share some songs with us? Lovely songwriter, singer. We have worked musically for a ton, and that's one of the things that I'm always excited about sharing space with her is just that beautiful voice and the energy, and what you put into the music that you write. You can just feel, you can truly feel it, through your whole presence, and it's just like you can feel it. So it's something I've always appreciated about what you do and who you are, and that's why it's always such an honor and a pleasure to work with you. So.
Same. Thank you for saying that, because it does come from a place of a lot of story and a lot of experiences, a lot of growth and a lot of pain, and I feel like the kind of music that I write, well, it's very much like bringing in that new world and that paradigm shift and the raising of the vibration, and also it's very much through an acknowledgement of the journey of getting there, and like really honoring the deepening of all the feelings, and how, like, one of the songs that I'm actually I'm working on my second album right now, so we're gonna play you a song from my first album in just a little bit, but a song that I'm working on, one of the lyrics are, "Oneness gave up oneness to be you," and so it's just like, it just makes me feel like the spectrum of black and white, like what is black, but all the colors, and if we were just all light, then there would be no contrast, like nothing would stand out from anything else, and I just really feel like we came into this world to like touch it, just like touch it and like feel it like touching us back. And so thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it, and I really love playing with you guys too, because that's honestly bringing in a whole new level for me.
Yeah, it's all about the energy that's alchemized. There's so many levels, and when you are playing and when you're listening and you're receiving, like Ty's always talking about receiving, but that's a big part musically too. When you're working energetically with other musicians, is receiving that and understanding what from that, once you've received that into you, what do you have to give at that point in time, and then it becomes a much more of a flow state. And when you're able to work with musicians that can put themselves in that state and be receiving and giving simultaneously, it alchemizes something that's just purely magical. It's never existed before at any moment in time. It will never exist again, and it's just purely just there for the moment.
Shareable and co-creative.
There's also the statistic, I don't know it, Ty, you might know it because you're just a genius. I mean, you both are. But there's something about how playing music, especially listening to music even, but especially playing it, it lights up more of your brain than normal.
Right.
I've even heard it said as like almost 100% of your brain. I can't back that up. I don't really know if that's
definitely the drummers who play the kit drum, and they're using all of their limbs. They did a lot of research to see how their brain fires, and people that play with multiple appendages, it really fires more in your brain. So I've seen you perform before when you were playing a cajon, you were sitting on it and kicking the drum and hitting it and playing keys and singing at the same time. So absolutely.
I like to challenge myself multiple
and
appendages.
there's actually there is in a documentary, The Music Instinct, The Science of Song, with Daniel Levitin and Bobby McFerrin. They take some singers and songwriters in to get the MRIs while they're performing and singing, and it shows just these regions of the brain just firing everywhere. So it's like it's stimulating stuff like throughout your entire brain. Every time when you're engaging musically, and then artists, a lot of times with artists you can engage just about the same amount if you're painting or just doing anything creative, really.
It's so true. With music too, like I'm sure you guys have felt this too. It's the closest I've ever felt to hive mind, because there's this, like, I'm sure you've done it before, where you're all playing together and then you all stop at the same time and it's just totally a jam, like unplanned, but there is this like linking, and even if it is accompanied with looks, it's like you just kind of know, and I feel like that might have something to do with it too.
100%.
Maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you want to rap a little bit first, or you want to sing one?
I'll rap for you guys, I guess. So
hold up, Jake.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it. A little bit about me that I just feel like sharing with you right now. Part of my story is that I have been home free, traveling. I have a home base around here now, but for over 7 years. And I turned away from society. In a moment when I was angry, got a van, set off with my homies traveling the country, and we did a lot of spoken word and rapping on the side of the street pretty much to get gas money to just get to the next town. So it's like that hustle, like it's like moving a muscle, cause I am training myself to gain those skills and resurrecting my soul frame, the superlative game, cause I don't know if I'm gonna attain that fame, but it doesn't matter if I'm touching the lives of some others. All of my sisters and my brothers, we are all connected, and we are resurrected as we reflect in this energetic perspective, cause we are rising the tides as we realize that our hearts and ears and eyes are perceiving, creating what we're believing, creating what we're achieving. If we can see it, if we believe it, then we will see it. Yeah, you best believe it, cause I'll walk it with my hands and my feet. I'll do it straight up on the concrete, cause I talk, but I walk that walk, cause I wanna see this world be birthed, yeah, the new earth, and it's not alone, we gonna do it for what it's worth, you'll see it, yeah, cause you believe it, yeah, you best believe it, yeah, we will achieve it. Yeah, I love that gourd.
This is my pot drink.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
From India.
I love that it's painted. So there's a little freestyle for y'all.
It's amazing too, like, you know, just even going through the process, how much more energized you feel right now, just sitting here tapping on this drum and just feeling that and just connecting, you know, and it's just like there's this rush of energy that comes through, you know, and that's when that's done, and it's just like it's something that's like it's unique to any other experience in this reality that I know of, you know.
Yeah, definitely. It adds such a layer when it's just completely off the cuff, because there's nothing contrived about it whatsoever. It's like this complete surrender, like, all right, whatever happens. Like, whatever happens, happens.
My favorite improv.
Yeah, right? Yep, pretty much every moment of our lives is improv anyway.
So you're going to be playing with us for the new moon.
Indeed.
And this new moon in Leo is the new moon of creativity. That's why we called Molly. Because we wanted to share some creativity. Yeah. And we're going to talk more about the new moon in the ceremony coming up. But this new moon is fabulous because it comes after a full moon. In Leo. Usually the new moon comes first, right?
Right. And it's usually in the opposite sign, right?
Yes. But this comes after because we had 2 full moons in Cancer the month before. So we get this new beginning in creativity after our hopes, dreams, and aspirations, this awareness of them for the last 2 weeks has been energized and expanded. So now we get to have this new start, but not in the first part of Leo, but in the last part, the heart of the lion.
I don't know anything about lions.
Mr. Leo over here.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that you said it was that the new moon in Leo is fabulous. That's just such a Leo word. It's fabulous.
It's absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you for that.
It's gonna be a good time. You know, creativity, like you talk about on the bandstand. You know, that's what people are looking for spiritually, is that ability to feel connected. Musicians have to do it out of necessity, and it turns on a peripheral part of your nervous system that usually happens when you get really relaxed, because the more relaxed you are when you're playing your instrument, the more free you are. Do you agree with that? Absolutely, especially guys practicing really technical stuff and you have to relax. So the more you relax, the more the energy flows through you, and you'll play things that you listen back to it and you're like, who's playing that?
Yeah.
Who that?
Yeah, who's doing that? That's not me.
Absolutely.
I love that. I have so many memories of like learning new things on instruments and just realizing that I'm holding my breath and I'm like, just breathing, and then totally like leveling up, just like a quantum moment.
You wonder sometimes if you really even need to breathe when you're playing, because like there is some times when it's like it'll feel like minutes go by and like, oh wait, I need to breathe.
Right.
You know. And
Yeah.
I think I had my first outer body experience on the bandstand.
Yeah.
I was playing a jazz gig, and there were like 20-foot ceilings, and I was at the top of the ceiling looking down at me playing, and I was like, wow, that sounds okay.
Amazing.
And then afterwards, I was like, what the hell? What the hell just happened to me? I was kind of freaked out. But
That's so funny. You're just like up there like, oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Not bad.
I love that. That's excellent.
I've definitely had moments where I've been able to watch myself. You know, it's so crazy when you just get so deep into that trance state. You know, it's like if I'm up here, who's
doing that?
Who's playing that drum?
That's amazing. Is it usually in sound journeys?
Yeah, it happens sometimes in my sessions. It started in medicine ceremonies. You know, when I would be holding space and playing the drums, and we would, going through this entire process. It was sometimes 20 or 30 minutes, and just playing the same rhythm for 20 or 30 minutes, and it's just, and you're in this deep state already, and then it's the next thing you know, you're just like you're somewhere else, but yet your body is still capable of holding that rhythm and that beat, and it's just purely impulse and muscle memory at that point in time, and then you're just kind of off elsewhere, and it's really an amazing thing, and that happens a lot during the sessions too, where it's just you just kind of get in that. When you and able to, and what I do with the gongs and everything, it's really just muscle memory, like I'm a lot of times not really in control of what's happening. I'm just kind of like in
I can feel that.
I
can absolutely feel
really just deep state, and and the tones, and it's basically just having this conversation with the gongs, and that those instruments are picking up the energies from everyone else in the room. They're picking up the frequencies, and they're changing, and what's going on within your body is changing, the way these are responding energetically. And then that's kind of where it's like wants to go directionally with the tones.
Oof. Oh man, I'm just seeing this like coalescing, like harmonic communication of just, that's amazing. That's super amazing. I'm sure that you guys already know, because you're following these guys, how amazing their music is. Like, I've never heard gongs make the sound that you make with those gongs. It's literally just like the black maw of the universe, just like creating new galaxies. I'm just like, where am I? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
so cool.
It's funny because until we started doing all these recordings, a lot of times I hadn't even heard it, but now it's like, wait, what's that? What?
That's great.
Yeah, because because it's always different. There's a lot of tones that are the same, but there's always nuances every single time that makes them a little different. And then when Ty's working with the deep brainwave music, particularly the gongs and the brainwave music that's coming out start to communicate together. It's that just a law of sympathetic vibration. The frequencies are going to start to attract to each other and start to form to each other and change this whole dynamic. And there are just times when we'll be in this this big room, and the pulsing that's coming from it, from this combination of everything hitting, it literally sounds and feels like there's a helicopter landing in the room.
Yeah.
And this is, it's just this pulsing through your entire body and through your entire field, and it's a pressure in the room that you can feel physically, which is just insane.
Well, sound is so amazing because it's compressed. We live in a compression field. That's why sound waves travel. If we didn't live in this compression field, we wouldn't have that experience. You wouldn't be able to stand on the street corner and sing, and people would be able to hear you. So, we talk about compression in music and compressing it more and stuff like that, but the compression wave, like Jade is talking about, I think at the Resonate Festival, one of the artists, they had a really low bass frequency and a huge sound system, and when that first bass note hit, it pushed everybody back energetically, because you could just feel the wave hit you. And low frequency is totally like that because it travels in all directions at the same time, Higher frequency will move through something, but low frequency literally makes a circle. It goes in every direction at the same time.
And if you got Dex doing your sound for you, it's particularly intense.
It was intense. It was a wall of
That makes so much sense because when I think of like low vibration, low frequency, high frequency, it's like I literally think of density. And so something with a higher density or a lower frequency is more solid.
Right.
And so it like has that push, and then if something is of a higher resonance, and as we become of a higher resonance and we become more like, because the atom is what 99.9% empty space.
Yes.
You know, so we like just continue to just buzz higher, and then we can kind of see between in that empty space and stuff. So it's like this high vibration, high notes. We're literally vibration. This is like it's all vibration. So the music attunes us like on a cellular level.
Right.
Science.
You ready to sing us another song?
Yeah.
Do you want to hear this?
I definitely am. Let's do it, you guys.
I'm gonna excuse myself for 1 second
Yeah,
just to make
please
sure
do.
the sound is good in the other room here.
Okay.
And I'll be back to join you momentarily.
Well, this is great. I love talking music and science and elevation. Yeah? Yeah. So I'm super excited to play you guys this song. This is a song off of, like I said, my first album. You can find it on Spotify, Pandora, all that good stuff, Bandcamp, called The Space Between, and it actually does refer to, like we were talking about, the atom that's 99.9% empty space, and navigating that empty space without the distractions of the material world or whatnot. But this one's called Pebble in the Pond. And I don't know if I want to say anything else about it. Images come thick and fast. A sun, a star, a great collapse. A galaxy was birthed inside your mind. A spark, illumination, witnessing a pure creation from the nothing. Cosmic serpent rises in your spine. In the 12th house, the scales are balanced. Queen of cups, she pours the chalice. Water bearing great forgiveness, self-reflecting in your dream. Of loud reverberations of the masses, new awakened holographic cityscapes. Nothing's as it seems. We see stars when we close our eyes. We're supernovas in disguise. This flesh and bone from which we're sewn are blueprints from the sky. We're Himalayan warriors. Let crumble all our hopes and fears. The ancient breath, the lucid mirrors. We are rebels in their wild fortune promises of a great remembering. Pillars on the horizon, scorpions, they are a rising challenge, and the maps we're given, find the truth and let it rain. We see stars when we close our eyes, we're supernovas in disguise. This flesh and bone from which we're sewn are blueprints from the sky. We're Himalayan warriors, let crumble all our hopes and fears. The ancient breath, the lucid mirrors, we are ripples and the water deep. Impart this wisdom, eat from the forbidden fruit. No matter scarred the face of truth, I won't turn my back. Oh, darkness under your presence, rabbit hole. I've learned your lessons. Now my light is iridescent against a drop of secrets from their lies will come a reckoning. Lightning strikes, let the tower fall. We are the pebbles in the pond. Can you hear the new world beckoning?
So,
so much.
That was amazing. And thank you for that grinding tone coming out. I can hardly put this thing back.
There you go, perfect.
That's it's so funny. You ended with this that quick strum. That's what sometimes we have to do that when we're in after our sound journey because we're just so deep. Like we can't formulate words, and everybody's still in the room, just like.
And we're back. Yeah. Wow.
Somebody's got to do it. You know?
Yeah.
Somebody's got to like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've been there. I've definitely been there at one of your sound journeys, so I completely understand.
Well, and that piece we just did, it definitely has such a nostalgic kind of energy to it. Yeah, it's kind of like, it's very flamenco also.
Ooh, thank you.
I could hear somebody doing the steps.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's amazing.
Apparently I was a flamenco dancer in a former life.
Really?
All right.
That's what I hear.
That's awesome.
So there we go.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually, I know some flamenco dancers in Dallas, and
Really?
in my mind, I was seeing them doing the stomp thing, and they would that piece. They would.
Oh man.
Yeah, they love
that kind of
That's crazy.
that kind of marching rhythm was just kind of like really that marching feel there too. It was energetically is just kind of what
Thank you.
felt.
Marching toward that new world, man.
Marching towards the new world.
It's funny you say that about flamenco too. 2 years ago, right now, I was in Spain and I actually took flamenco, like one flamenco class when I was there. But they have this school in Granada and it's like in caves and it's this flamenco school. You can learn dance, you can learn guitar, you can learn like the drum. I would love to go there someday.
Awesome.
But I kind of feel in a past life I may have played like Spanish classical guitar. I'm not sure.
I could hear that.
I'm not sure. But that seems to be what I want to write, like when I'm on the guitar. I'm just like, this just feels right.
Yeah, it has a pulse to it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like reggae. It has that heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's something about that. We call it Naibinge
What does that mean?
in Jamaica. So when
Happy?
they do their traditional ceremonies in Jamaica, they sit around all night and play
Oof.
all night long, and so you get that rhythm of the earth. And if you listen to any reggae piece of music that's fast, even you'll hear the heartbeat in the background. You'll hear it. It's in all of the music, and a lot of the modern music that has its ethnic roots. You're gonna always find that heartbeat. You're always gonna find it because it's us.
Yeah.
It's us. It's our heartbeat is we're finding in the music. You know.
Yeah, and there was rhythmically there was a part where I was emulating the heartbeat too in that song. So yeah, it's really fascinating. Yeah, it just felt like there was that heart and that pulse. And you can feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder if it's like the chicken before the egg. If rhythm came before melody, because it feels like that heartbeat. It feels like the most like such a primal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Right?
It's part of the mystery.
Yeah.
Like for example, the electromagnetism of a creek or a river
Yeah.
is not necessarily connected to its sound, but it is synonymous. Talk about messing with your head.
Yeah. Well, honestly, that's why I say these things. I'm like, perhaps this sort of science segue say stuff.
All right.
Well, you guys, how do you feel?
I feel really good.
Well, what was that last song called again?
That was called Pebble in the Pond. And I guess the best way to find me is to just type in my name, Molly Shuvani, into your favorite music streaming, whatever.
Well, which
Spotify.
one gets you paid the most?
I mean, I've made $24 from Spotify.
Well, I mean, I'm just
In the
saying, like,
past year and a
I'm just
half.
saying in general. I wasn't trying to pry.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to type
because
it.
I
I'm
would
like,
I'd
cool.
like the people to go to whichever one
Yeah.
supports the artist the most.
Spotify is definitely better than iTunes. I have no idea how to collect from iTunes.
Yeah.
Possibly still able to do that, but and then of course, if you wanted to download the album, you could go to Bandcamp, and then that pays the artist directly for the album, and then you can have it offline anytime you want. But Spotify it's decent. It's pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah.
But go to Bandcamp.
Yeah, Bandcamp's cool too. Whatever you want to do. I mean, yeah, I have hard copies of CDs for sale by mail on the Bandcamp too. So if you're a little old-fashioned like me.
And coming soon to the Vibrational Empowerment Network, we have opportunities for all of that. So you guys can connect with her directly on our network.
So exciting.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, you're in the network, and you were one of the very first, the pioneers. That was actually one of the reasons that it was like it just made so much sense. It was we were sitting here having a conversation about programming. I mean, like, literally, we have a plan, but for the most part, we're just making this shit up as we're going.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was like, well, what are we doing for this podcast? This is something I've been working on for a few months now, developing the podcast, and I knew kind of directionally what I wanted to do, and I just kind of had a notification on my phone, and I'm looking through the messages, and I'm like, oh, Molly's, to see what she's up
Oh
to.
my God, that's amazing. I feel like that's not even the first time that's happened, because
No.
I messaged you by accident. You remember that?
Yeah,
At one
yeah.
point, you're like, hey, we need somebody for a music thing.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Yeah, no, it was just like, oh, hey, Molly, and then just...
Here I am,
Yeah.
just energetic. Bing. That's so cool, too, because honestly, I've heard of a ton of people that are like, I'm going to make my own social media network. Like, I've heard those words before, but you guys are the first ones that I've seen actually do it. So I was like, yeah!
I think what
That's
happens
great.
is a lot of people get to the point of wanting to do it, and they start researching what it takes to actually do it, and then it's just like, oh, never mind.
Was it crazy?
Let me go back. Anyway, I mean, I've been literally working, trying to figure out the details of so many different levels of things since you know the lockdown situation started, you know, and it was really just this this blessing that came out of the whole thing, because like I've never had time to devote to something like this before, because we're always just so busy performing or traveling or doing gigs, and now this was just kind of like this opportunity to sit back and realize what it's like, you know, to be without a lot of the things that you're used to having, you know, the securities that you're used to having, and doing the work that you used to do, you know, the gigs and everything just stopped. So like now it's just nothing but time to work on what's next, and that's what's next is empowering people at a much greater level and a much greater capacity than just empowering the people that you're at energetically within that room at that particular space and time. You know, living in the now and in this moment is the most important time we have, and to be able to share that with people globally at this point in time, as opposed to just locally, is just the greatest gift that could have come from this entire situation that we find ourselves in as a whole right now.
Heck yeah.
Well, we've been spending 2 years, really. It's been 2 years we've been talking about this.
Yeah.
And, you know, as men, if we don't do what we say we're going to do, you know, our ladies, you know, don't let us get away with that. So
it's so funny. The divine masculine in all of us, really.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I feel that. Well, that's awesome. I love how you brought it back to empowerment too. It was like we started with empowerment, and now it feels like
It's just how it happened.
yeah, it's like an empowerment sandwich.
So yeah, so thank you for being our first guest on the
It's my
Vibrational
honor.
Empowerment Hour, Vibrational Empowerment Network. Yeah, I'm excited to jam with you. This is pre-recorded. We'll be doing the recording the full moon thing that we'll be airing live here in a moment. But yeah, so would you like to sing us out?
Can we just do a little bit of a jam?
Yeah.
Can I just make it up?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Whatever
I
flows.
could play a song too.
Whatever you want. This is your.
Okay.
trade with me.
All right.
I like it when we all play together. So
I'm going to sit on the column.
cool. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna grab this. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. I think I actually am going to play a song. Nice little mellow outro. The ground beneath the old oak tree brings me in, reclaims the fallen branches, turns them into skin. Some nights I lay awake. Days are sodden with mistakes. branches break, they bend. And in time you'll learn to recognize the signs. And your heart won't hurt as deeply when you speak your mind. You will always heal. Your greatest strength is that you feel. You will always. Thank you so much, y'all, for being here with us today. Thank you,
Thank
both
you,
of you, for
Molly.
having me here.
Ty. Alright. That's a wrap.
Cool.
Cool.